And as soon as we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, then that which was hiding, it just falls off. And that allows a space for more understanding, more wisdom, more character to show through whatever was being hidden before.
We're asking for that, and we want that because we desire that deep connection with people that can only come from being vulnerable, because how else are you connected if you're not showing the things that connect you? You don't have to hold to that standard of what you think you need to be so that everybody thinks you're all together.
In the end, we are really just afraid of the rejection of the other person.
Yeah.
And so the only reason that I feel that worry is there is because we feel that we are rejecting ourselves. Then of course we're going to see that throughout our day as other people are going to show up in our lives to model that very frequency that we're already emitting into the world.
If we weren't rejecting ourselves, we wouldn't be pointing at someone else that's rejecting us. We wouldn't fear something that we didn't already feel. If we need to change somebody else's belief, then our belief in ourselves is not enough.
Hello, curious souls, and welcome back to another episode of Awake and Aware podcast. In today's episode, we'll go over the importance of vulnerability and the authentic expression that comes from allowing yourself to feel the feelings you have, to experience the world around you with open heart, with open mind. And once again, I want to point to a beautifully crafted quote by Peter Crone that talks about vulnerability. As soon as you're feeling okay to be vulnerable, you are no longer vulnerable. So what this quote points to is that we are only vulnerable because we're hiding something. When we're hiding something that we are perhaps scared of, it makes us vulnerable. And once we express whatever it is that we're hiding, whatever it is that we feel scared of, you are no longer vulnerable. Those feelings have a space to pass along. So we are only vulnerable or fragile for as long as we don't want to share what we are truly feeling. Whatever it is that we feel, such as shame, guilt, regret, or hurt, when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, to me that means to have courage to be authentic. Feeling what I feel and express it in real time. When I can be unafraid of the judgment, of the rejection, knowing that if I love me, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. And with this courage, I become transparent. I allow myself to be present in every moment as I observe and experience life. So without any further ado, let's jump into a conversation with Tammy. And I trust that all the wisdom that comes through this conversation is going to point you in a direction that's going to somehow improve your life. Let's get started. Welcome back, beautiful souls. Today I have, again, privileged opportunity to hang out here with Tammy, and we're going to unpack anything and everything around vulnerability and how it allows us to open, how it allows us to stay more authentic with ourselves. And who doesn't like authenticity? I mean, I don't know what else we're living for, but being in that space of yourself where you feel like your true self is experiencing life, I think there's nothing much more worthwhile than doing that. So I feel one of the things around vulnerability is that we often are not vulnerable in our lives, and thus we are vulnerable. So sit with that for just a bit, because that's a little distinction there. So we are only vulnerable because we are not saying something, we're hiding something. And this wisdom, again, for those of you who are new, comes from both of Tammy and myself studying wisdom of Peter Crone and the wisdom that comes through him. I love using some of these catchy phrases and quotes that he has because they are just so rich with meaning. And
Mhm.
again, back into when we aren't vulnerable, we are literally just hiding something within ourselves. And as soon as we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, then that which was hiding, it just falls off. And that allows a space for more understanding, more wisdom, more character to show through whatever was being hidden before. So I want to open the floor here to Tammy,
Mhm.
and I know she has a lot to uh, tell us about this kind of as well, because there's a plethora of experiences that she's had in her life, and I would love to hear some opinions around it and what how you look at this very statement, and what does that mean to you to be vulnerable?
Mm. Yeah, thank you. So yeah, I think of it as an open door. And so
Mm-hmm.
what comes to mind first, and because I think often when we refer to relationships, everybody can relate, right? No matter what, whatever kind of relationship, we can always relate to anything that's, aligns. So if we think about it like a person says, to their partner, say, or family member, whatever, hey, gosh, I wish they could really understand me. They don't really know me. All I want is somebody who really knows me and knows my heart and knows how I feel about the deepest things. And I just feel so separate from them because they just don't know me. So my question would be, do you reveal your true self to them?
Mm-hmm.
Are you giving them something to know? So, which most often, myself included, we're asking for that and we want that because we desire that deep connection with people that can only come from being vulnerable, because how else are you connected if you're not showing the things that connect you? And so if I ask, well, are you showing your authentic, oh no, because I don't know what they would think or whatever, and then the stories come of all the reasons why you need to protect yourself and stay safe by not showing your vulnerable self.
Mm.
But you're never going to get out of it if you don't. It's that being in the swimming pool and complaining because you're wet. Well, you got to get out to get dry, or you got to get in to get wet. To swim, you got to get in the water. I
Yes.
really want to swim. Okay, well, you got to get in the water to swim. No, I really don't like water. It's too cold and I don't like it. Well, then you're not going to be able to swim. So, like, you can
Yes.
just stay in that loop. And
Yeah.
so it's an invitation. So when you do that inquiry, all right, who am I not vulnerable with? Are there only certain people? Are there only certain topics? And you can start unraveling it for your just with a self inquiry. You can find those places, and then you can go when you find out, okay, no, I realize that I'm not vulnerable and I hide behind a mask on a certain topic. You go and look there. Well, what's the fear? What's the worst thing that could happen? Why are you afraid? All of that. It'll it'll lead you into it. And when you do that, you can go heal that. You become more comfortable with it. And if you're afraid of speaking in public, well, what is it? The only way to is through. The only way to get over something is to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to move into more vulnerable relationships, then you're going to have to be more vulnerable. Just start being vulnerable. Start small, right? You're not going to start by like letting out your deepest, darkest secrets to somebody that you don't know yet. Of course, we trust our discernment of who we're being vulnerable with. You don't just go and it's not just throwing it out there and just hoping that it sticks and hoping, but use discernment and just a little bit at a time. Start sharing yourself a little and then see what happens. And you might find out that you can't be, and you might get hurt, and somebody might go tell your secret somewhere. Somebody might, like, it could happen, yeah, but even if it does, you're going to get stronger from it because you're going to learn. So maybe you learn not to say, like, whatever it is that you learn, the lesson's always going to come, I think. But it's an open door.
Yeah. So when you're pointing to all that, in sense, I feel what you're saying is that it requires a lot of courage
Mhm.
to get to be vulnerable with someone about yourself. Again, like I said, you don't have to go around and reveal your, most secret, things that you've had in your life with to a complete stranger. Although
Mhm.
sometimes that feels pretty nice because you know you're not going to meet them again, and it's just like your secret is safe with someone that you don't even know. So,
Mhm.
there's the beauty of like being next to someone on a plane who just feels comfortable and you just can tell them all a story and you feel better. So again,
Sure.
the point behind this is that being vulnerable again opens the door, drops the pretentiousness or the
Mhm.
pretenses that we use to mask the true self. The true
Yeah.
self that, yes, may the true self of me be, maybe I'm not punctual. Maybe I'm somehow imperfect. Maybe there is something that other people would find that they would judge about me. So if
Mhm.
that's the concern, you will likely, obviously, never will probably be courageous enough to be vulnerable with someone. And
Mhm.
so if the realization again is that you do it step by step, little steps, kind of like you were talking about the pool,
Mhm.
stepping into the water. You don't have to jump into water. That may feel pretty scary. Could you take a little step to into the water? You're still standing on that step, but you're feeling water on your feet. Can you do just a little bit of a dip, a little bit at the
Mhm.
time, and just go there gradually?
Yeah.
So no need for like being a superhero and just like being completely courageous and just
Yeah.
brave to just run in. No need for that.
Mhm.
But the certain amount of courage and your ability to really step in, step up for yourself is required in order to obviously be vulnerable with someone. And
Mhm.
as we said, why do we want to be vulnerable? Because it simply just reveals part of you that's been hiding. And when that happens, it feels amazing. It feels freeing. It feels peaceful.
Mhm.
And again, who doesn't want a little bit of peace and freedom?
Yeah.
Or a lot, maybe.
Sure. And it's love. Like that's how love gets in
Yes.
and grows because it's the same thing with whatever the vulnerability is. It's the same thing with being messy, like with like showing people stuff. So if you sit back and say, I want a partner or family members that can meet me and be with me when I'm messy, when I'm upset, when I'm not patient, when I, you know, lose my mind over something little and I'm like having a meltdown and I know that everything's going to be okay, but whatever, maybe I'm overtired and maybe I had
Hmm.
whatever,
Hmm.
that you don't have to hold to that standard of what you think you need to be so that everybody thinks you're all together. I don't believe that people want perfection and like robots of like non-emotion and not like, right?
Hmm.
Because when you're showing up authentically, you're not showing up in victimhood. So it's not about, oh, you mean I can go be a victim and be irrational and everybody's just supposed to like lay out the carpet for me and make excuses for me and how no. No, it's that you don't have to have everything all figured out. And you can show up and talk about an idea that's not fully formed yet
Yeah.
and like not waiting until you make sure something's a success before you share it with somebody.
Yeah.
Like share yourself before you're all cleaned up and tidied. It's like, I mean, I know a lot of women who won't like show up to someone they're dating with no
Hmm.
without makeup.
Yeah.
To me, that's heartbreaking. They believe that their face not being done or their hair, whatever, that all not put together, that they believe that this person that they're intimate with, that they really think that they're going to be loved less or
Hmm.
not, like they're going to be kicked out and not welcomed and loved
Yeah.
because you're not all put together physically. Like that's heartbreaking to me that
Yeah.
somebody would that they feel this way.
Yeah.
And it's heartbreaking for me for the person, the man that they're doing it for, that how would he feel if he knew that she was that she felt that way,
Hmm.
and so if he's a
Yeah.
healed, healthy person, it's going to break his heart that she feels that way. And he doesn't
Maybe.
want her to feel
Hmm.
that way. Like,
Hmm.
like I want to assume that, I want to make the assumption first that he would want her to be comfortable and safe and feel open. Like she's not showing up to a dinner party in her bathrobe, of course, but like that she thinks she has to be perfect in order to be loved.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
heartbreaking.
Yeah, and it brings up such an important point that we all do this at times, whether it's going out on a date, whether it's just meeting a friend. We all
Mm-hmm.
want to look our best, which is fine.
Yeah.
That's all
Right.
all great. But again, back to what is the reason that you're doing that for?
Yeah.
It's I want to make myself look the way that I love myself more. So, and if I just woke up and I'm kind of late, okay, I'm still gonna be like, okay, well, I still have the meeting to go to. I kind of
Mm-hmm.
screwed up, and so am I gonna beat myself for it? I
Yeah.
mean, some years ago I would. Today I won't. But again, it's just like, can I be authentic with people? Just say, hey, you know what? I worked hard and then I fell asleep and I didn't make it, and I wished I made
Mm-hmm.
myself just a little bit more presentable for you as well. But
Mm-hmm.
I accept myself for what it is, and I hope it doesn't bother you. And if it does, you really, can we move on?
Yeah.
In
Right.
the end, we are really just afraid of the rejection of
Mm-hmm.
the other person.
Yeah.
And
Right.
so the only reason that I feel that worry is there is because we feel that we are rejecting ourselves.
Yes.
So if we are already in the back of our mind saying that we're not good enough, saying that we are a bad person, saying that we're living in lack or whatever it is that there's not enough of whatever, then of course we're gonna see that throughout our day as
Yeah.
other people are gonna show up in our lives to model that very
Mm-hmm.
frequency that we're already emitting into the world. So, if I'm
Mm-hmm.
worried about the rejection, yes, I'm gonna want to put
Mm-hmm.
myself together and hope, just hope that someone will love
Mm-hmm.
me. And again, like you were saying, that's very sad. At the same time, it's
Yeah.
majority of this population,
Yeah.
and it is
Sure.
so prevalent in the society that it's that people don't even see that.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
sad.
Yeah.
That's what's sad.
100%. And I think that the answers to everything that we ever need to know, all we have to do is look at how we feel.
Hmm.
Our how we feel, it will always point us. Like we don't need you don't need psychotherapy for everything. We don't,
Hmm.
right? Because if you look at how you feel
Hmm.
and you'll see your motives, and then you'll see which motives and intentions, like where they sort of apply. But it's always within us, because if we weren't rejecting ourselves, we wouldn't be pointing at someone else that's rejecting us. We wouldn't fear something that we didn't already feel, right? Like
100%.
we don't fear anything that we don't feel.
Hmm.
And so, and if we feel it, that means it's in here somewhere. Yes, it may be there because it might have been planted by a story of someone else.
Hmm.
But if we maintain it, that's when we are victimizing ourselves. So if we remain in the vulnerability of fear, like, so if we're calling, yeah, I can't be vulnerable with this because I'm afraid.
Hmm.
Okay, maybe when you shared that thing or that topic and you spoke on it, maybe you were married to somebody or dating somebody, or maybe someone in your family said like, wow, like that's, I don't know, and the eye roll and the all the whatever, or maybe they even, maybe it was a conflict, maybe it really was painful. Okay, but that's one person that it was true for, maybe 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Are you really willing to keep this story alive? Like, how much evidence do you have to support this story? Is it real? That whole we've talked about a lot, right?
Yep.
Is it real? Is it? But if you do that with it, you'll find it. And even if it was somebody, okay, So just don't talk to that person about that anymore. It's okay. Now that gets harder if we're in a marriage and you're finding things that you don't can't talk about. Okay, then that's another conversation and maybe there's other discussions that need to happen. If
Hmm.
you feel like you have to watch what you say and the walking on eggshells, of course. That's sort of another like
That's a
that's
whole
another
nother
rabbit
issue
hole,
here. Yeah.
right? But you'll know that if you just like look at like, wow, where am I not being vulnerable? It's the same as, where am I not free, right? That would be
Yeah.
a constraint if we
Yeah.
tap into sort of the way that Peter Crone speaks of things, right? And constraints. All right, like where'd the constraint come from? Like
Hmm.
who brought it and who's like putting it in stone and like attaching it, like if there was a clip on it, like who attached it to you, that constraint. So you got to get to that. And once you let it go, it'll dissolve. But the more you do it, the more that you get out and talk, and, you know, it's slow, but compassion for yourself, compassion for the other people, forgiveness. Like if something has happened, compassion will like sort of soften it a little, make it more pliable. And then you can
Hmm.
work with it a little.
Hmm. Yeah, and
Yeah.
again, the compassion. Thank you for that. This compassion is a huge part of this that
Mm,
allows us to be, I feel, more courageous. That allows
mhm,
us to be put into this frame of mind or just frame of being where, um, I can accept myself with whatever I have or don't have,
mhm,
and be in this space of I can still improve. There's nothing that really is stopping me other than my own actions, my own words, my own
mm,
thoughts, and my own emotions or feelings. There's
yeah.
really nothing, nobody is holding gun to my head. I mean, unless that happens truly, then yes,
Yeah.
you have that
Mhm,
excuse there. But other
yeah.
than that, it's just circumstances that
Yeah.
present it.
Right. Yeah, and that the bravery and courage to look within,
Yeah.
that will serve you if you are in a situation, okay? If you are, you know, still living with family, like if you financially can't physically leave yet. So if
Hmm.
there are constraints and
Hmm.
you're safe, but you know that you have to leave, it's not something where you need to, hopefully God forbid, and you need to sort of leave in the middle of the night and like just get out and get safe. Okay, so that aside, even if there are like the next in line constraints of, yeah, you like, I know this is really emotionally unhealthy and I need to sort of get my ducks in a row. That compassion and courage, th- that's what gets the ducks in a row, because that's what
Hmm.
offers you discernment. Okay,
Hmm.
am I unsafe? What is most important first?
Hmm.
What do I need to do first? Do I need, um do I have a cell phone on a family plan, and I know that as soon as I make a move to leave, they're going to shut my service off. Okay, you need
Hmm.
to go get yourself your own phone. Okay, number 1. Like, but you'll be able to do that because if you're in the piece of that compassion, courage, and you have discernment, you can make decisions because you're not in panic.
Hmm.
So if you can use that compassion for yourself and for others so that you're not in a panic situation, you can make all the moves that you need to make. And maybe your lack of vulnerability created walls that are keeping people out. Maybe something happened in the past, a topic. Oh no, I can't talk about this topic because of what happened in the past. So
Hmm.
now you're holding the people now that you're with, you're holding them hostage in the prison that you created because of the thing that the person said to you. So you locked yourself in a prison, you have the key, and everybody's out there, and you're wishing that everybody was with you. Well, you got to unlock the door first. And so maybe it's you're not being vulnerable. Maybe they think, yeah, no, I don't know, she's just really closed off, so I'm going to stay back here.
Yeah.
Like you got to open the door and let them in.
Yeah. Yeah, so well said. Again, it's like w when there is this just initial gate or wall that we are unable to really see through or feel through or
Hmm.
anything, experience life through, right?
Yeah.
Asking the self truly honestly, who the heck has built this wall? And just honestly answering, there is nobody else who can build that wall but yourself.
Yeah.
And if you can really open yourself to that understanding and realize that we are the ones that are creating our story. We, of course, part of us
Hmm.
know that, right? So we know that, yes, of course, I'm making this
Yeah.
choice, I'm going there, or I'm not going there, or whatever it is.
Mhm.
And yeah, of course, I'm creating that choice. But oftentimes, what I feel we do is that somebody does something, says something, and you don't feel comfortable with what they say or do.
Hmm.
Now we take that information, we take that experience, and we throw that onto them. They're the bad guy. They're the problem for or the
Hmm.
issue in my life, really. And if it wasn't
Yeah.
for what they did, I would be
Mhm.
fine. I was just living my life. If you
Yeah.
find yourself saying these things or thinking these things, that's again a red flag to you, to ask you to pay attention,
Yeah.
to become aware of like what you thinking, what you feeling at this moment.
Hmm.
And is it true? Is this
Yeah.
something that I'm making up? Is this something
Hmm.
that is truly happening?
Right. Yeah. You could tell a lot by how you define things.
Mm-hmm.
So, how you define strength, courage, bravery, being, authentic, genuine, and just having integrity, but strength, and how do you define that? Does
Mm-hmm.
that mean you're closed off? Does that mean, oh, if you show weakness, if you show emotion, is that showing weakness? And you'll be able to see it in your actions. In my experience, it is so not true. Meaning, like, the stories we tell ourselves about how we're supposed to be, because that's what would be the the authentic, genuine, best way we could show up to do the best thing in a situation. When
Mm-hmm.
I was when I had a really big surgery, my daughter was like, it was, there were a few, so right around 10 years old, okay? But going in to the one that was quite serious, and there was a potential that I wouldn't be okay. It was a very, very high risk
Mm-hmm.
surgery. And the mother in me, one of the things I did was, I before I went in, I like made, I don't even know, like I filled the freezer with food. I stocked up on like laundry detergent and things like
Mm-hmm.
as
Mm-hmm.
if I died, that would somehow make everybody's life easier, because there was a freezer full of food. And maybe they didn't have to go to the grocery store as often to get laundry soap for a little while. Cause I like these, but like it was irrational, because I wasn't just allowing myself to be vulnerable. And in my experience of what was going to happen, I was like, no, what should I do now so that my illness or my injury doesn't affect people?
Yeah.
Because then what kind of mother am I? What kind of wife am I? What kind of daughter? Whatever. Like, I made that about how they're going to be affected.
Yeah.
I made that about things that which doesn't matter at all. They don't care about how much food's in there. My daughter is not going to have an easier time
Mm-hmm.
if I do things to somehow, like, that she'll be okay if her mommy doesn't come home. Like, it's so far, but that's because I was in that story of like, well, I can't be vulnerable and just have my experience, because
Mm-hmm.
then I'm somehow being selfish, because that's what it
Mm-hmm.
felt like. It felt like being selfish.
Yes. Yes. That's a incredible point you're bringing up again around this because
Mm.
while you did that, I think naturally also as a mother because you're
Mm.
caring. And
Yeah.
typically the motherhood is that. It's the caring,
Mhm.
you know? And that's the form of love, of course. While you did that naturally, the whatever little mundane things that you felt
Yeah.
should be in place, it was out of
Mhm.
caring. I don't think it was out of that's trying to be irrational. You weren't
Mm.
trying to be rational. You were just
No.
caring. You thought of
Yes.
them. And
Mhm.
back to your point again, at that point, maybe thinking of yourself would be, appropriate as well, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. It was
Yeah,
warranted that I could
yeah,
like, because it was, yes, it came from love and it was caring,
yeah,
but if I hold myself
yeah,
completely accountable here,
yeah,
that was self-abandonment. And
yeah,
my self-abandonment,
yeah,
self-betrayal, that's gonna harm my daughter more than anything, because my daughter needs a mother that's 100% accountable to herself. She needs the example of a mother
yeah,
that takes full care of herself and holds herself accountable.
yeah,
So yes, it did, but I choose to look at things at that level because that's, to me, that, that's what I want to evolve in, and, you know, always look and hold myself accountable. But it's just, yeah, the stories that we tell ourselves can lead us down paths, and it's like, what? Like, no, it's okay. You can just give yourself
yeah,
permission, and
yeah,
same with all relationships, just show up and be vulnerable and ask for help, especially
yeah,
women with men. Men are, they provide and protect, and like,
yeah,
give them a chance, like, to help you or be there for you.
yeah,
But you got to give them a chance to. You
yes,
you can't, no, I'm stung and I can do everything for myself. Maybe it's coming from you don't want to be a burden on him, but like, you're
yeah,
blocking him out. So anybody that you don't let in, you're blocking them out from being there
yeah.
with you.
Yeah. Wow. Yes.
Yeah.
I encourage people and the audience as you're listening to this is that ask yourself what is causing you at the moment of feeling not wanting to be vulnerable about something. What is causing you to
Mm-hmm.
do that? To continue hiding something.
Mm-hmm.
What is it? You don't have to answer it out loud for anyone. You can just think about
Right.
it for yourself and just see what you come to, because this is one of those most important things. Is like, when sometimes
Mm-hmm.
when we have our daily things, and I go to a grocery store and I go to
Mm-hmm.
see a friend, we have our calendars, we have our things to set appointments, and then it's kind of like we just got news that the world is coming to an end, and you're like, well, but I still need to go to grocery store,
Yeah.
and I
What?
still forgot to get the dry cleaning, so let me go get that real quick.
Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
doesn't
Mm-hmm.
matter, doesn't
No.
matter, you know? And so just
Yeah.
being aware of what really actually matters
Yeah.
is that you are in that state of accepting yourself, loving
Mm-hmm.
yourself. For those of you who are guys, I know that the word love feels kind of like
Mm-hmm.
kind of cringe around it sometimes, but really
Yeah.
truly just accepting yourself for who you are. That comes
Yes.
with pros, cons, whatever you feel you have
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. Okay. But again, being open and in having that
Mm-hmm.
awareness to say, okay, here I am. I feel
Mm-hmm.
naked. It doesn't feel comfortable, but I'm here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
showing up. I don't know what's gonna happen, and I'm up for a surprise. And
Yeah.
sometimes
Yes.
it may feel really hard, and your heart may be beating like crazy. You may feel the
Mm-hmm.
fear of like, what if somebody rejects me? Oh, so what? They reject you. Well, that was one person out of like 8 billion people. Wow, that's like I don't know the math of that, but that's like a point zero 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 something crazy, right? One.
Right. Yeah.
That is insignificant, right? And
Mm-hmm.
besides that, the only person that needs to not reject you is the one that you stare in the mirror every day. And that's just like if you're
Yeah.
there with that person as
Yeah.
you, it's gonna
Yeah.
be okay. You're gonna survive it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's trusting yourself. Because if we're going to go out into life with expectations and agendas and these, like, okay, yeah, I'll go and I'll be vulnerable, but this is what must happen. And so we're controlling the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about inward, right? And trusting ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you do that, whatever happens is for you. So even if you're vulnerable and somebody's rude about it and they say something that, offers the opportunity to take offense. Well, take an offense, that's our choice too. And so again, yeah, that's to your point, that's one person, but it how anybody else acts isn't relevant to your vulnerability. Because if you're doing it to get an outcome, well, that's control and that's a motive and that's ego.
Mm-hmm.
True vulnerability is I make a commitment to be fully 100% honest with myself first. Then whatever happens after that, that that doesn't have anything to do with me. I'm doing it for me, and it'll always be the right outcome because anything that comes will just source you to do whatever else. Maybe you need to
Mm-hmm.
work on forgiveness. So maybe you need somebody to come and be offensive so that you can have compassion and forgiveness for where they are.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they can't hear it right now. Maybe it hasn't, maybe the offense isn't to you. The offense is at them for whatever they can't see that they want to see and they want to do it. Like the more that they're reactive, that just means that they're only uncomfortable because they want it or they see lack, they feel they don't have it. So it's just stirring up whatever is in them, but it doesn't have to stir up you. You're in your own pond, and if you want the water to be clear, stand still. Like that's it, and
Yeah.
it's all up to us, but we don't have to be with emotional trust. That's stability because you trust yourself. Whatever comes, it'll be okay. You can source everything. And so when you have
Mm-hmm.
that, you're not you're not worried about the outcome because you're just not attached to them. It doesn't matter. It
Yeah,
doesn't matter
exactly.
unless you make it matter.
Because we give the meaning. We're the ones that create the life,
Yeah.
as we said earlier, of our experience.
Yeah.
So we're the actor, we're the writer, we're the
Hmm.
director. And so, and I like that you said that, when you react, and I want to speak to that briefly, is that anytime, obviously, any reaction comes, that you can be guaranteed that's 100% just your personality talking. Again,
Yeah.
because personality, your ego, if we as we spoke about in previous podcasts, is trying to either predict future or it's going into the past to create some sort of a safety net to make sure that you are safe. Because the
Hmm.
primary role of the ego is to protect us, right?
Yes.
So it would naturally anticipate something and it would naturally pull from the past as to like where we were unsafe before. And
Mm.
our choice around that is that we can just live in a moment as it is without those.
Mhm.
Not necessarily saying that, yes, I've burned my hand in past and I will still stick my hand into fire because I know I will
Yes.
burn myself. That's just silly, right? So at the same time, I'm not gonna fear fire just because I've burned myself before because
Right.
fire has great properties. It warms up the house. It can create a beautiful ambiance in your home and or outside of your home, wherever you're hanging out with friends around a
Mhm.
fireplace or fire pit.
Mhm.
And, just because of that, I don't have to fear that I'm gonna get burned. I mean, I could, but again, that you're taking up your present moment with your
Right.
past thought.
Yeah.
And so the reaction back to what you were saying is that the ego is reacting. It's never, never the soul that's reacting.
Yeah.
Soul experiences. 100% it just experiences. Okay, well, that hurt. That was painful. And it moves on. Okay, so
Yeah.
yes, your avatar, your being, your body, your
Mhm.
physical meat suit has suffered some sort of a blow. It hurts, yes,
Mhm.
absolutely, and the hurt is temporary
Yeah.
and your soul is untouched still.
Mhm.
So just want to give audience this again distinction of for those of you who haven't heard the previous podcast. that we have done is that distinction between the soul and ego being or ego self, ego
Mhm.
personality that we need and we don't need to have it driving our life. Yeah.
Yeah. Ego will always need a defense where love can just be. The
Yes.
soul that is love can just be. I'm all about like having the quick little notification things, right? So like when you feel reactive
Mm.
and you feel like you have to defend, the ego is present or engaged somewhere, or you're living from an ego story of the past, or you're in ego thinking presently,
Hmm.
because the soul will never defend, debate. Love doesn't debate.
Hmm.
Love is, and that's what
Yeah.
we are. That's
Yeah.
why it doesn't feel good to have conflict, because it's conflict with, like, and our inner being only knows the highest self, the highest of all. It only knows love. So
Hmm.
the conflict is always with us and our inner being. If we're feeling that conflicted, it's because it's not, something's not in alignment there. And so it's never like, oh no, I have to go in and defend myself because that person's saying something wrong. There's nothing to defend because there isn't anything wrong. They have a different perspective
Yeah.
from where they're coming from.
Yeah.
And so you involving, if we involve ourselves in the story of somebody else and we say, no, I have to defend what's right and true. Truth doesn't need to be defended. Like, we don't need to get,
Yes.
that's just control. If you're saying, no, everybody
Yes.
must believe what I believe and think what I think, and this is the right way.
Yeah.
No, it's not
Yeah.
true.
Beautiful. There's the difference between the truth and
Hmm.
being being right or having a true moment.
Yeah.
Something may be true, but it might not may be a truth. So
Yes.
like for being something true, I feel is like your own perspective. It's like
Mm.
if I'm looking at something that's in front of my hand, but you don't see what I'm looking at, I can say it's true that I'm pointing with one finger on my palm, and you'll be like, "Oh,
Mm.
okay, well, I don't think so. I see four fingers or five fingers,
Yeah.
because I don't see
Yeah.
that, right? It's
Hmm.
just a silly example, but
Yeah.
again, the truth and the true can be different, are different, really. The truth
Hmm.
is comes from that again, that loving essence, that from the consciousness itself, in the sense that it's it's to be felt, it's not to be rationalized.
Yeah.
It's to be
Yeah.
allowed.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's to be allowed and it's to be observed,
Yeah.
and not logically thought of or anything like that. That can you can be 100%
Hmm.
sure that belongs to the mind and to
Hmm.
that. So I wanted to mention that, regarding vulnerability again, as we talk about that today, there's
Hmm.
a in my youth, that was one of the things that was always difficult for me was performance. And you may see a couple guitars here. So my youth joy was to play music, and
Hmm.
I love playing music on my own anytime.
Hmm.
And I do not like to perform. What is the reason for that? So again, I mean, going back to feeling vulnerable, what if I screw up? What if I mess it up? Somebody will laugh. And so,
Hmm.
there's what's behind that feeling, that fear of getting a stage fright or whatever it is, right?
Hmm.
So you
Hmm.
make a fool of yourself somehow, people will reject you. And it's just when I found out for myself later on in my life that I am the judge of that. Anybody
Yeah.
else can do whatever they do. They might laugh. It may be like, okay, they laugh because they found it funny. Some people may actually be mean and laugh because they think that
Hmm.
I'm useless.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, but it's their opinion. So as long as I'm in a place where I enjoy what I'm doing, there is no need to have any kind of tremor in the hands, tremor in the voice before performance.
Yeah.
When it happens, again, for myself, I would ask myself, first of all, I would go,
Hmm.
just a deep breath in, deep breath out, and just feel where I am at the moment and ask myself, okay, I know I've practiced this. I know this. If I mess up, okay, so be it. I'll move on. At the moment I mess up, I'll just keep going. And if I
Mm-hmm.
mess up really badly and I have to start over, I will excuse myself and start over. So be
Mm-hmm.
it, you
Yeah.
know? And then once I got into that state of being, really, is that I didn't care anymore. And then it
Mm-hmm.
was like playing on my own.
Yeah.
When I play on my own, I don't typically make mistake at all. I
Yeah.
mean, sometimes I'm learning new things, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But once I played something over and over, I don't make too many mistakes. And
Mm-hmm.
so again, we talk about mistakes. Yeah, what it really is a
Yeah.
mistake. There is no
Yeah.
such thing. It's just like, you played something else than maybe somebody else expected, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but so be it. And just for to those of you who are out there who are either in performing and or wanting to be more seen,
Yeah.
and I encourage you, highly encourage you to open, be vulnerable, allow yourself to bring the courage out
Yeah.
and say, I've got this. And if I
Mm-hmm.
don't, I'll figure it out,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah.
and just allow.
Yeah. It's a guarantee. If you in your life are doing things that feel like you moving towards your highest good, and it feels good to you and it feels loving, whether it's music, singing, writing, anything, a sport, anything at all.
Mhm.
If it, lights you up, as we say, right? And just all that and serves your feeling light, high, and in the essence of love with it, then that means that it's serving someone else in the same way. That means that they're just enjoying music, enjoying reading words that you wrote, enjoying it. But as they're enjoying it, that's prompting them to be in spirit,
Mm,
inspired,
mm,
and moving towards theirs. So by being in yours and doing something that feels good to you and makes you feel fully in the presence of love, you're changing the world because you're making other people feel that way through what you're doing.
mhm,
So that means another person feels it. So then they're going to do whatever it is for them.
mhm,
And if we focus on the love that's spreading, that will like make us so full and in it that we won't notice, because there's always going to be somebody reacting, somebody saying stuff. That's always going to be there because there's always going to be people that are in pain and that are so uncomfortable within their own lives that they do it, because that's
yeah,
the only reason they do it. People
yes,
are not mean to be like, okay, I want to go out and be mean today and cut as many people down. Like, no, they're in pain.
yes,
So we're not going to debate it. We're not going to try to convince them otherwise. We're not going to try to go and prove to them that they should feel a different way about what we're doing. Just keep doing it and it'll soften, it'll change. And the less that we focus on what didn't feel good, the less that they'll do it, because it they're not, it's not going to serve them in any way.
hmm,
And so the just keep doing it because it's serving the world. If it's serving you, it's serving the world.
yeah,
That's it. And so if we have a hard time doing that, then that points us to, okay, then we got to look within. Why do you need it? So why is it bothering so much? Why do you need the approval of that one person when maybe there was 500 that felt love and that said beautiful things to us,
hmm,
but the one
hmm,
that said mean things,
hmm,
why are we going towards that?
hmm,
We believe it somewhere. If we need to change somebody else's belief, then our belief in ourselves is not enough. There's a hole in our belief of ourselves if we're focused on somebody else's belief of us.
so
Like,
well said.
right? We all just look within, like as soon as it comes, like flip it around and look inside. And then as soon as you do, you're free.
Yeah,
Because as soon as you give it the loving attention, that love dissolves it. That person might not ever change, but you're not going to care about that. because your belief got stronger in yourself.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what the I think most of us find most difficult is to truly
Yeah.
show the authenticity within us. Obviously,
Mm-hmm.
again, we're hiding whatever it is that we think that we're inadequate somehow or insecure about, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Again, for as long as we have a need to hide something, there's going to be things that we're going to focus on, like you just pointed out, that are going to bring us down actually further, take us away
Yes.
from the goal that we're working on here. Just the authentic expression, like you lose that when you don't stick to understanding again that you are who you are. If you listen to
Mm-hmm.
someone else to say, hey, they said something, so it must be true. So
Yeah.
when you were saying that if somebody is saying something and you
Yeah.
agreeing with that somehow and then worrying about taking away from whatever you're trying to do,
Mm-hmm.
there is something within you that you're holding on to. This is just like the red
Mm-hmm.
flag. So just a quick example on that. When I posted one video again about something in martial arts, I got million views within a week on that video. But most of those comments, and this was the first time I was like, wow, I've never had a million views on a video. That's
Mm-hmm.
incredible. So when the comments were coming in, and I noticed that most of the comments were, "This is not good. That's bullshit. That's no good. Yeah, that try to make that work in real life or whatever." The
Mm-hmm.
comments were. My first feeling was, okay, oh, that's terrible. I should
Mm-hmm.
take that video off. And then as I was looking, if you looking at like how many people actually loved the video compared to how many people commented with, negative
Mm-hmm.
comments, it
Mm-hmm.
was way overweighing it, the
Mm-hmm.
loving part anyway. A lot more people loved the video than the negative comments I received. Yet the mind jumped right into what's wrong? What did I do wrong? Okay.
Yeah.
Where was I not enough? How could I
Yeah.
make it better next time? And so then, of course, I sit with myself and I go, okay, so there's obviously something still within that I'm holding on to that I'm not letting go, that is making me focus more onto
Yes.
the things that people say about me that are not necessarily positive.
Right.
So why am I attached to just having a positive feedback? Can I just let go of that in sense that
Mm-hmm.
positive, negative, I know what I know, I love what I do, I enjoy
Mm-hmm.
hanging out with people. Can I just make it simple like that? The answer is yes,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely. I have the
Yeah.
power to do that. And
Right.
do we do that? I mean, sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. If we believe the negative, we are the ones making it true. Victimhood says, no, they said it about me, so I'm a victim because that person said that. So,
Hmm.
oh, because they said that, that means it's true. No, no,
Hmm.
them saying it does not make it true. It's only
Hmm.
happening so that you choose the truth of who you really are. There is a lack of love. It's only for us to look and say, "Oh, I'm the one lacking." And
Hmm.
believe in the love that we are. There, it's a
Hmm.
choice. The low vibration or the negative, it only comes to offer us the choice to believe in love. That's it. It's not to go and like, okay, that person said that, so I'm going to go change that. Oh, that person said I did this wrong somehow, or I should have done it better. And then we go off like, oh, okay, let me go master how to do it so that I do it. Okay,
Yeah.
well, are you
That's
going to
called
do
people
that with
pleasing.
everybody? Right. Because
Yeah.
then you're going to have to do it for everybody.
Yeah.
So, buckle up because it ain't going to be a pleasant ride because
No, for
now
sure.
you got to go do it with everybody.
Yeah. Yeah. And again, I mean, denying your own um, true nature
Yeah.
through just because somebody else has a different preference. Okay, you can say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, I appreciate that. And maybe if there's something that inspires me about what they said, that is like, oh, yeah, I could do that next time. That would be interesting.
Sure.
And
Mhm.
but if I'm changing something that I felt was actually, good at the moment for some reason,
Right.
because somebody else gave me some feedback, then again, that's like I'm starting to people please. So that's another red flag to just notice for myself. Where
Mm-hmm.
where I'm holding myself still captive and where I'm not free in this case scenario. So the amount of things that we actually get revealed by life about ourselves, about our personality, about the way that we live through this lifetime
Mm-hmm.
is incredible. The amount of
Yeah.
things is just, it's never ending, really. And so there's an incredible amount of opportunities for us every day to improve with something, to
Mm-hmm.
change something, to update something, to
Yeah.
grow, really just
Right.
grow.
Yeah, sure. It's because to your point, if you do that inquiry of, okay, what's true here?
Hmm.
So you take the hit comes, right? Somebody says something.
Hmm.
You put yourself out there, we're vulnerable, and then somebody says something. Okay.
Hmm.
Because I want to always live from a place of being open and being able to say, "Oh, okay, thank you. I appreciate your point of view." Then it doesn't matter. Like my level of peace isn't going to change if I'm grounded in that self-love, that I trust myself. Then I have that discernment to say, yeah, okay, I trust that person that said something. I have some
Hmm.
respect for them, whether we know them or not. Okay. I know that person's sort of character. I know enough about them to discern whether or not I trust their input or not. Maybe
Hmm.
if I'm a singer and then maybe somebody that commented is somebody I respect that's a professional and so I respect them. So if they say something that stings, I might pause and be like, okay, let me look. Is there something in there? Maybe their delivery was awful. Like maybe they said
Hmm.
something and it was like, okay, and like they could have said it in a nicer, whatever. It doesn't really matter. Is there anything in that message that can serve me? And but from that place of, self-trust, self-love, you
Hmm.
can you can make that decision and answer that why. So it always comes back to us and being grounded, because if you're grounded in love of self, you're able to do that and you can ask and you can you can go in and like you can look and open it up and see if there's any truth. Maybe there's something I'm going to change and alter, and maybe I'll be like, thanks, but no thanks. You know, see you, goodbye. And maybe we even need to block somebody if they're getting out of hand, but like,
Yeah.
you can do that and you can know and then go be vulnerable again. Like it's not a one and done, you know,
Hmm.
keep doing it.
Hmm.
Like you said, baby steps, like don't go dive in the deep end before you know if you're really a strong swimmer.
Hmm.
Be vulnerable in baby steps, and don't do it with my encouragement would be don't do it with really important, close to the heart things first out of the gate. Make small
Yeah.
steps and you'll build it like slow and easy. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I would like to say one other thing before we close here is regarding the fact that we never know that the things that we are not saying to people, the things that we are hiding, we never know how it's going to affect other people around us if we
Yeah.
weren't hiding it.
Yeah.
So if you do have an opportunity to reveal something about yourself, reveal something
Hmm.
that you perhaps understand, you feel you want to say something, you really want to encourage yourself to say something at
Yeah.
that moment. Yeah,
Hmm.
some thought, some idea comes to you. It may not be relevant for, let's say, there's 20 people in the room. It may not be relevant for 19 people,
Yeah.
but that idea may be relevant for one person
Hmm.
and they were waiting for some sign like that
Yeah.
to open up their own incapabilities around what they think that they're incapable of. And so
Yeah.
again, share what comes to you because you really never know who
Hmm.
you're going to have an effect on. It's important.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. And check yourself like, oh, are you going out into the world on your life mission? And are you setting a standard that you're not good enough or you're not a success unless 98% of people respond the way you need them to respond?
Mm.
Because that's not love. That's ego in there.
Yeah,
You're
manipulation.
right. One person
Yeah.
is enough.
Yeah.
None is enough. Like your
Mm.
experience is enough.
Yeah.
From there, one's enough,
Yeah.
whatever. But like it's enough just because you step out. Period.
Hmm.
End of story. Whatever happens after that
Hmm.
is a bonus.
Hmm.
But make yourself enough. Like make
Hmm.
your feeling and your appreciation of it, make that enough first. And
Yeah.
then everything else is just that's just icing on the cake.
Ah, 100%. And there is a power that's behind when we something that we reveal that other people haven't heard before from us, or that
Mm,
wherever I get courageous enough to say something. Let's say you're on a Zoom call, or you're interacting with people and you never
mm,
say anything, perhaps a long time. And because you're, again, afraid of rejection, afraid of whatever it is that you're afraid of, you don't speak
mm,
up. And so, even if, let's say, nobody else said anything to that, which is mostly never the case, but
mhm,
even if nobody else did, you just empowered yourself for standing up, for speaking up, for saying something. And then that feeling that comes from that right after that, you did that,
mhm.
is incredible. And
Yeah.
that feeling alone has the potential to free big part of your little soul that you have imprisoned with
Mhm.
your own mind.
Right.
So, and a lot
Yeah.
of times what happens is that you'll actually affect a lot of people, not just one, not only just like yourself, but actually a
Right.
lot of people will say, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, well, I never thought of that way." Or,
Yeah.
"Oh my gosh, that's exactly what I needed to hear." You never know. So speak up, say things,
Mhm.
be vulnerable. Highly encourage you to go out there or in there, just go within and ask yourself, what is the reason why I'm not speaking up? Really sit with that question.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
coming out with some sort of answer, something will happen.
Yeah.
And I really want to encourage you guys to just
Yeah.
go out there and be
Yeah.
you. Find out
Yes.
who you are, be you. Allow yourself
Mhm.
to be revealed and
Yeah.
vulnerable because you
Yeah.
learn from that.
Believe in the message that you want everybody else to believe in. Because
Yes.
if you don't, how could what why should they?
Yeah.
And if one person's going to be able to deter you, well, then I would look at the strength of your message. Where's the weakness in your message that you want to put out there? Where is your belief not solid enough that it's going to be toppled by a couple of comments? How
Yeah.
much do you believe in yourself? Like
Yeah.
start there. Yeah. Because if you believe in it, then it will serve and other people will. Use your voice, say it. Just say it and do it.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
start. Like
Thank
you're
you.
worth it.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Thank
Mm,
you for adding that.
yeah.
I think that when we are, sometimes some of us are like, I don't really believe in myself, so I'm not going to speak up. And that's
Yeah.
normal as well. Again, one little step,
Hmm.
one
Yeah.
little step. Just
Yep.
even saying, let's say that you're on a Zoom call and you never speak, just lift that hand and say, you know what, guys, I just wanted to say thank you so much for having me here.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure to hang out with you. You don't have to even say anything else.
Or raise your hand and say, I'm petrified of speaking to groups.
Oh, I
I'm
love that.
petrified of being on camera.
I love that.
I like look at yourself talking and say, I am so scared of doing this right now, what I'm doing.
Yes. 100%. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Just lay it
Let's,
all out there. Tell the truth. That's
yes.
vulnerability. Tell the truth when you're scared.
Yes.
Talk about being scared because I
Yes.
bet you that everybody else on that call, they either are or they have been or it comes in and out. There's
Yes.
nobody, I don't care who they are or how big the group is.
Yes.
There's nobody that doesn't know what that feels like. So the
Yeah.
ones that do know that got over it, they're going to come in and they're going to serve you and they're going to tell you what they did. They're going to share their experience and strengthen you. And the ones that still feel it, they're going to relate to you and they're going to come together with you. And then you're going to share love together and everybody's going to grow. Just say it. Say how scared you are.
So
You'll
beautiful.
receive love if you do that. Guaranteed.
So, so beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't have much more to add to that, Tammy. Thank you.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah. No, I
Yeah,
love it. I
again,
love
just
everything you're saying. I love it. Yeah. Yeah.
same here. So it's yeah, a lot of wisdom again flows through. I love these conversations and
Yeah.
I trust that they land with whomever needs to hear them. And I will look forward to again seeing you next time and
Yes.
diving into again deep into a lot of interesting and curious and perhaps
Hmm.
vulnerable things as well.
Yeah.
So stay
Yeah.
tuned in, and we'll look forward to seeing you again soon.
Yes. Yes. Thank you.
And thank you again for joining us for today's Awaken Where podcast, where we talked about vulnerability and the importance of you to be able to stay authentic and true to yourself. Again, unlocking the space for others to be their best self with you. And if you enjoyed this podcast, definitely give us a like, subscribe so you can see more of the stuff that we produce. Thank you again so much for tuning in, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next time. Until then, peace and blessings to you. Take good care.